2025. This morning, we come together to celebrate your birth, your curiosity, your commitment, your resilience, and your joy, and all that you're going to carry forward with you into high school and the years beyond. Traditions are usually a little bittersweet. You're saying goodbye to something you loved, something that has changed you in ways you don't even fully see that. Letting go of a place and a community that has helped you grow isn't easy. Believe me, I am very, very far. But today is also about looking ahead and the excitement of a new beginning and the wide sense of possibilities that are waiting. You've been preparing for this for years. Through your work, your choices, and the way you've grown both as learners and as people. Throughout your time at Quest, and for some of you that's for a really long time, each of you has brought your own light and your own energy to our school. You've made us laugh, even when we didn't want to or didn't expect it. You've challenged us to think, or just challenged us in general. You've shown us time and again the unique spark in each one of you carries. Through all of this, you have shown us the kind of people that you are. And as you head into high school, you may be tempted to feel like you have to be somebody new. You don't. Just keep growing into the very best version of yourself. This year you have helped to carry on Quest traditions, like the festival, and hosting the alumni pizza dinner, and then you fully expected to attend next year, complete with all your newfound high school wisdom. You've also been a part of FIRST. You were the first class to be able to work with the 3D printer, not just for fun, but to integrate it into your actual work that you're doing, and also your presentations. That kind of innovation is going to be innovation. It's going to leave a lasting mark. You've also brought joy. Joy that you kind of see in Sebastian's face, and his deep commitment to the big puffy chair that's in your middle school room. Or the quiet intensity that I witnessed while you were diving into math class at a time when I was a sub for a flip. I'm not really a sub because I'm not teaching the standard. You were so serious and focused, yet so naturally collaborative. Seeing that evidence of your growth and maturity brought me joy. Although I didn't have the opportunity to teach any of you directly as a student in my classroom, I have come to know you over your time at Quest. I've come to know you from observing on the playground, in the Gaga pit, readings in the hallways, lots of projects and presentations, from the stories and the anecdotes that are shared by your teachers, and definitely through the yearly reports that the teachers who really know you write twice a year. Through those reports, through those comments, I've been able to see your potential, see you overcome struggles, celebrate your successes. You have all come so far. I know that you are curious learners, engaged citizens, and caring classmates. This next chapter is going to have new faces, new expectations, new challenges, but it's also going to have many opportunities to further discover more about yourself. When you get to high school, you are going to find that even if you don't feel like you're ready, you are ready. And you're ready not just because of what you've learned, but because of how you learned. As a graduate of Quest Montessori, you carry something rare into the world of high school. A quiet confidence, a sense of responsibility, a comfort in working with people of all ages. You know how to collaborate with both your peers and adults, how to advocate for yourself, and how to recognize that learning is not just about the big answers, but about the process of discovery. You understand that mastery takes time, and that excellence grows through effort, revision, and persistence. What you have built here at Quest, your friendships, your resilience, and your voice will serve you well. And again, not just for what you know, but for how you carry yourself, how you approach your learning, and most importantly, how you treat others. You have been part of a community that treated you as capable, believed in you, and as a result, you became capable. I hope that you have learned that relationships matter, and the importance of surrounding yourself with others who respect you and your values and share them. You've learned how to think independently, to speak clearly, and to listen deeply with respect. You know, because you lived it at Quest, that real learning doesn't always fit in a box. Very deeply. You've learned to lead, to reflect, to adapt, to be flexible. And perhaps most importantly, I hope you'll learn that your voice matters, and that you can use it with care, clarity, and courage. Dr. Montessori lived through 2 world wars, and she believed that peace is not simply the absence of conflict, but the presence of justice, cooperation, and human dignity. And she believed that education was humanity's best hope for accomplishing that. At Quest, you have been given the gift of an authentic Montessori education that has nurtured empathy in you, independence, and a deep respect for others, preparing you to be thoughtful citizens of the world and peacemakers. We need that more than ever. The world needs people like you. As you move on, I want you to carry forward the best of what you have been a part of here. Keep noticing things, keep looking for challenges, and keep asking better and better questions. Remember, there is always something you can learn. Congratulations, we're so and now I can look at you. I really couldn't say all that stuff with them. We are now going to hear from the graduates, and first up is Abby Washowitz.
September 2nd, 2016, I stepped into the school for the first time as a student. And now, 3,923 days later, I will take my final step out. That's 9 years of friendships, learning, and new experiences all in one place. And I have made so many memories here through field trips, projects, or days in the classroom where we may have just had a lot of fun. And all of these have helped me grow into the person I am standing here today. The people at Quest have made my years here more incredible than I could have ever imagined from such a small school. Though unfortunately, not all the people I spent some of my early years here at Quest are still here at the school. Growing up in this school has provided me with so many fun experiences that I would have never gotten at any other school, and I'm so incredibly grateful for that. One of my favorite one of these experiences has got to be our 8th grade capstone trip to Charleston, South Carolina, where I got to spend 4 days bonding and hanging out with the rest of my 8th graders. We also had our 6th grade capstone trip around Rhode Island, where I remember it like it was yesterday, and also created one of my biggest memories, staying up late playing pool in the Airbnb. I've also gained all the knowledge I need going into high school and the rest of my life. And this is due to my incredible teachers who have gone above and beyond to help me and progress and learn. And even when I would say that I have a question that was too hard to answer or didn't want to answer it, they would help me no matter what. With this, I have learned to overcome challenges, push through struggle, and finish things on time. Well, mostly. The lessons I have learned here could never compare to anywhere else, and I'm so grateful for that. The things Quest has taught me, I will carry through high school and the rest of my life, and though I will most likely not use my beat chain skills, they're still a big part of my learning by contributing to the rest of my math progression. Lastly, I would like to thank everyone who has contributed to creating the best experience possible for me while I've been here, especially my friends who have uplifted and pushed me to my limits. And with that, South Kingston High School class of 2029, here I come.
Thank you, Abby. Next up, we have Alvin Marine.
When I first started at Quest, I was alone. I had no friends and I lacked the social skills I needed to make them. But now, because of Quest, it has all changed. Today, I have many friends, and they even made a best friend, something I have always dreamed of, but thought would be forever out of my reach. Quest has given me the chance to not only grow my social skills, but also my academic skills. Not only did Quest improve my knowledge, but it did so in a fun way. For example, in upper elementary, I had the opportunity to choose math, something I was unable to do in my middle school. This not only improved how comfortable I was, but also improved how well I was able to use everything and clean it up. It also let me explore my own ideas. For example, when we learned about a certain law in geometry that led to T objects, I was certain also applied to 3D objects as well. Therefore, I was able to explore this possibility to its fullest potential, and eventually confirmed my hypothesis. One of my favorite things about that is how it explains concepts. For example, in geometry, the teachers do not only tell you the equation, like whatever else, but also tell you why we use it. They explain the different parts of it, and what they do. It always urged me that they did not explain that before it could press. And it also actually anchored my memory of the subject. It is my belief that knowing not only the materials when you solve the problem, but also the reasons behind those materials is almost as important as the materials themselves. For me, at least, this is not only added an extra layer of understanding, but also made it fun. I like predicting the reasons for things and celebrating when I never get it right. Another one of my favorite parts of class is the teachers. The teachers here at Quest are some of the most caring people I've ever met. Not to say that the teachers at my old school didn't care, but there's only so much you can do when you see different people every single year. And the classroom is kind of bigger, of course. For example, they did not just care about our grades, they cared about us personally. They cared about our projects. They cared about our college. And most importantly, they cared about us. In conclusion, my time at Quest has been the most important time of my life. From the highs to the lows, I enjoyed every moment to its fullest.
Thank you, Helen. Lyra Kosa.
It's kind of scary up here. Writing this speech is hard. There are so many things I want to talk about, but no way I'm going to fit them all in here. So I'll start where every story should, the beginning. When I first came into Primary 1 9 years ago, I was nervous. I was 5 years old, and this was my first school that wasn't really getting here. Very few memories I have of primary are celebrating my birthday there, Sebastian writing material like it was a horse, and thinking that my primary teacher was magical because she knew my last name. Since then, I have made so many other memories, some good, like both capstone trips, playing games, Just Dance, and bad, like seeing my brother hugging Megan after a bank blockers fell on him. That was probably the most traumatic experience of my life. Excluding that, my time here has been fantastic. I have learned a lot of stuff throughout my time here. In lower elementary, I learned basic math and skills that laid the foundation for basic reading. I also met some of my best friends there, all because of Harry Potter teacher. Upper elementary expanded on that, and so many arts and crafts related projects. 4th grade was Coordinate City, 5th grade was Timeline, and 6th grade we had to make a whole island. It's not even mentioning the extremely excessive amount of origami we did around Rembrandt's Day. Alright, it's not all arts and crafts, but I really did learn a lot about so many different things. I can't even try to name them all in a short little speech. The capstone trip in 6th grade was also one of my best experiences at Quest. I also met another one of my best friends here through an article of clothing, but this time it was a Minecraft backpack and it wasn't mine. Then we went from arts and crafts to manual labor. Yay! However, it was in benefit of the community, and I did get to use a pick tests to fill up also, it was pretty worth it. In middle school, taught me, really did teach me a lot of things that hurt my brain and had me scratching my head against the wall sometimes. But it also taught me a lot about myself. I learned what my strengths and weaknesses are, that I'm really good at 3D modeling, and the more tired I get, the more I look like I just had way too much caffeine. The 8th grade capstone trip to Charleston also taught me something about myself. I have way more resilience than I thought. I was in pain kind of like the whole time, but not once did I say, no, I can't. I always just said, I'm fine. I stuck with it the whole time, and as a result, I'm a stronger person. High school has always been so far away. I'll be fine, I still have time left. It really hit me when I went to middle school. It was even worse when I had to decide for myself where I was going. That's way too much pressure to put on a 13-year-old. But I feel ready and excited thanks to all of you. Thank you for helping me when I get stuck or fixated on random things. My teachers, my friends, my family, all this. All of you are awesome. I really appreciate you putting up with all of my nonsense throughout the years. You have been what made Quest awesome for me, and I would not be the person I am today without you, so thank you for everything. Long time?
Yeah, I thought I was going to hear about primary. That was such a beautiful list of memories going all the way up to primary. I think any of us who use fashion in primary have interesting memories of this. Next up, Griffin Sommer.
When I first arrived at Quest with my bowl cut and a new Minecraft backpack, I would never have expected the journey I was about to embark on. It was the middle of a pandemic, and I had just moved from Maryland, and I had never been to a new school before. It was weird to be entering a new classroom, especially with the masks and the rest of the anti-COVID measures that were taken in. I made a friend with the previously mentioned Minecraft backpack, and through that friend I was able to get to know the rest of my grade and eventually become good friends with all of them. Over the next 5 years, I grew creatively and personally, and I have really changed into a different person. I have made a lot of great memories here at Quest. For example, Brian jumped in the dumpster to salvage a lot of recycled items after I accidentally put recycling in the dumpster, and I still laugh at that memory every time I think about it. Another memory that absolutely stands out to me is interviewing Robert Ballard through Zoom in full. At that point, I was really interested in shipwrecks, so he was a really famous person in my mind, and of course, he is well known in the field and other fields. These memories represent different aspects of my time here at Quest, both social and academic. Since I first came to Quest, I have evolved as a person. When I first arrived, I was extremely shy and did not really know how to talk to people, especially after being virtual for around 7 months. Now I'm able to do things like present and talk to people, like with our Charleston project. And another thing that I felt that I improved about was my creativity. I started out at Quest with someone who's interested in doing things like being able to create stories and have a way to tell them as well. At that point though, I was not great at handwriting or drawing, so I didn't really have a way to do anything. However, over the time here at Quest, I've truly evolved and grown as a writer and drawer. For example, with my writing now, I'm able to write stories that are more depth, to them more reviewing albums with a lot more description. Not only that, but Quest has helped me in a lot of other areas academically, which is not only helped in school, but also outside of school. Quest has really affected me these past 5 years in many ways, and I've accomplished a lot in that time. Next year, though, I will embark on another journey into high school, and I have to face new challenges. There's a difference now, though. I am more prepared to take on those new challenges with all the new skills that I've gained over these years. I will be able to have an easier time making friends and take way more time to work. So, in conclusion, when I go to high school and go on an entirely new journey, I know that I'm prepared to face whatever new challenges there will be. Thank you.
for 12 years, and I've never been to another school. I started in the toddler program and made my way up the ladder until finally I made it to 8th grade. I knew this day would come, but it still feels surreal to be standing here today giving this speech. There have been so many fun experiences that I've had at Quest, but my favorite one is the 6th grade capstone project. In my mind, it was my first real trip with Quest, and I was not looking forward to it at all. It ended up being incredible, and we got to see so many cool things like the Elms, one of the luxurious and historic Newport mansions. Another awesome thing was the Providence Arcade. The Providence Arcade is an historic shopping mall, not the flashy room with the fun game machines that I was expecting. But it had huge pillars at the entrance and a showy roof, and that was enough to please my 6th grade mind. The presentations were fun, but the best part of the trip was definitely the pool table in our Airbnb. While I wasn't the greatest pool player of all time, I still enjoyed the games that we were able to play. We had to dodge the nail heads sticking out of the floor, which the Airbnb owner conveniently forgot to mention, but we still had a great time. My favorite part of being a Quest student was the constant support from teachers. Since the classes are smaller than at a big school, the teachers are available to answer all the questions that students have, while in a larger school, kids might not have that opportunity. Asking questions is a big part of how I learn, and because of how Quest works, I've been able to learn more. Of course, I wouldn't have been able to attend Quest without the support from my family. Thank you guys for making it possible for me to go here. I'd also like to thank all my teachers for helping me through challenges and for teaching me everything from how to write to how to read D&D strings. I've had a great time here at Quest, but unfortunately it's time to move on. Thank you all for making this a truly unforgettable experience.
Thank you, Sebastian. And our final graduate, Brian Wagner.
I've been at Quest since 2013, roughly 6/7 of my life, and it's been a blast. Quest has given me mucho knowledge, and I feel completely prepared to tackle whatever lies ahead. I have made countless memories here, and one of my favorites is from the 6th grade capstone trip, where there was a pool table in the Airbnb. We plowed through more than 20 games in the first evening, and on our last day, everybody woke up at 5 a.m. so we could play before we left. Although doing escape rooms and going to the Sky Zone on the capstone trips were awesome, it's the small moments that make the trip in the end. Being at Quest also gave me the time to develop skills such as solving a Rubik's Cube, and most importantly, the opportunity to share it with the class in morning meetings as well as the option to write it in an essay. From the first time I started fidgeting with the cube in dismissal 7 years ago to now, I've come a long way, and at least half my success and improvement has been in school. For example, my 8-second record a couple months ago. I would have lost interest long ago if it had not been for the support and opportunities that Quest has given me. The biggest difference between Quest and other schools is that it not only helps you learn concepts, but it teaches you to enjoy the process of learning as well. This combined with recess, obviously, makes school an enjoyable place to be rather than an obstacle that needs to be overcome each day. Even though I am sad to be leaving the school, the future is exciting, and I'm happy to say that I will still have my knowledge, friends, and memories from Quest forever. Thank you.
Somehow I don't think I heard about the pool table at the Airbnb, but you're really getting that. That was wonderful. Thank you guys so much. Again, having seen some of you since you were toddlers, all the way up to now, it's an incredible joy for me and for your teachers to see how much you have grown and your poise and presence when you're up there. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next part of our program, I'm going to ask Blue Wheeler to come and do the gifts of gratitude.
During the Gifts of Gratitude ceremony, the graduating students recognize people who have offered them exceptional support and encouragement throughout their journey to this This year's gift is a peony, which represents appreciation, joy, and optimism that the graduates feel as they end their time at Quest and move on to the next great adventure. We would like to now invite the graduates to present the gifts of gratitude.
Did you wake up for
I have to tell you that one of my favorite memories was just reenacted. It was Jack and Lyra. Jack was in primary and Lyra was in lower L, and they met alongside those lockers that Quaker fell in. And they just talked, and I thought this is so sweet that they have that much affection for each other and willing to share it and show it. So that's lovely. Thank you. Okay, so now was the grant given diplomas. And, all right, got my things wrong. All right, come on. I forgot, but now we're going to have a musical performance, a surprise tune from your 7th grade peers.
From the Cocoa family. The coconut lies for the kitchen floor. If you save some of it, you can build a door now. The coconut runs, do not throw this junk. If you save some of it, you'll have a second floor. The coconut wood is very good. It can stand 20 years if you break it good. Now the coconut root, to tell you the truth, you can throw it or use it as firewood. The coconut leaves good shade it gives for the roof, for the walls, up against the eaves. Now the coconut fruits and my relatives make good cannonballs up against the thieves. It's the cocoa fruit, it's the cocoa fruit of the cocoa.
Hans, you were such a good sport. Now, photos. Your teachers are going to come up. As you know, speaking should be individually. And when they come up and call your name, please come up and stand beside them.
Hi everybody, I'm Auburn, Middle School Community Staff. Abby, would you please join me? One of the first things I learned about Abby is that she loves to travel. And that passion proved to be of great benefit to her classmates as they planned a trip to Charleston, and indeed, while navigating routes, decisions, and timing was there. And trust me, every adult on a trip with teenagers is grateful for someone as steady and well-equipped as Abby. This skill set, so suited to travel, derives from Abby's logical mind, determined spirit, and confidence in self. And these qualities have characterized her time in middle school here at Quest. When there were differences of opinion, Abby was often the one to calmly chart a path forward that everyone could agree on. In seminar, Abby grew from a determined but unsure 7th grader to an indispensable 8th grade leader, showing strength not only in the depth of her thinking, but also in the way she listens and engages with others. As a math student, Abby maintained high expectations of herself, working with resolve to graph every inequality or calculate the velocity of the rocket she just launched as a borrower. Abby's inherent determination, logic, and confidence have aided and been strengthened by her many accomplishments as a gymnast. A dedicated athlete, Abby has put in long hours at the gym for years, working tirelessly to learn a new skill, move up a level, or recover from an injury. The gym has also been a home to Abby, a community she values, and a place of growing up. Abby has set high expectations for herself in the gym, and we've often seen her translate this mindset to her academic ambitions. We've also seen her move away from perfectionism in the best way possible, maintaining her characteristic high standards while valuing growth in place of perfection. Abby, thank you for being unapologetically yourself while accepting other ways of living. Thank you for being a welcoming and trusted older peer. In doing so, you've reminded us to remain genuine and, to paraphrase your own words, to find joy in who we are throughout our entire lives. Abby Floyd Schwartz, we celebrate you and congratulate you on the completion of your studies at Quest Montessori School.
I please have Cal? To help us understand and appreciate the essence of health, I'd like to read a short passage from a 9-page work of literature that he wrote himself. He gifted me one of these at the beginning of the year on our Odyssey trip. I still have the original copy to me to this day. So, what do you call it when your mom is good at investing? Economics. What do you call a delicious poem? Poems. And my personal favorite, what do you call it when you combine coffee with a train? Espresso. At his core, Calvin is someone who enjoys bringing joy to the world through his youth. At some point of the year, everyone in middle school found themselves on the receiving end of one of Calvin's signature cringy jokes and couldn't help but to smile. Calvin is a dedicated student with a penchant for technology. When we introduced microbits into our second science unit, Calvin immediately investigated all the functions it could perform and quickly discovered how to write code to interfere with the radio signal of everybody else's microbits. To his credit, his code was dubious and efficient. The only thing that held back Calvin's ingenuity was the fact that the microbit could not keep up with his ideas. After downloading his code for his robot into the microbit, we discovered a brand new type of error code. With the microbit making a frowny face with LED lights, it indicated that the code was too complex for it to run. I now have proof that Calvin is indeed too smart for his own good. In addition to coding, Calvin enjoys fencing as well, which he recently took first place, I believe, during their last season. First place sounds pretty sweet. Speaking of sweets, Calvin also has one of the biggest sweet tooth that I have ever seen. On any of our trips, especially Charleston, Calvin would always be on the hunt for a candy shop or vending machine to satisfy his sweet cravings. However, even sweeter than his teeth is his love for his family. During that Charleston trip, Calvin made me remind him constantly about how much money he was spending on candy because he wanted to make sure that he kept enough money to ensure a gift for everybody within his family. The entire time he made sure that he kept a steady amount, that way he found little trinkets that matched each individual that he'd give them a proper gift. No matter how silly or goofy Calvin might act, he is one of the sweetest students I have ever had the pleasure of teaching. Calvin Carini, we celebrate you and congratulate you on the completion of your studies at Quest Montessori School.
Remember the practice. So Lyra has a sweatshirt that in big letters across the front spells out trouble. Whenever she wears it, I smile because setting aside the idea of good trouble, it couldn't be further from the truth. Lyra is not trouble, but she does indeed go through the trouble of helping others, working hard, and being a devoted big sister, friend, and community member. In middle school, Lyra has done a study in balance. She accepts others while remaining true to herself. Whether developing a concept for an underwater ROV in science, or discussing thematic elements in seminar, Lyra collaborated without relinquishing her own ideas. She offered help gently and without assumption, always careful to support rather than overshadow. She asked questions and contributed only what was needed, mindful not to take away a classmate's opportunity to grow. Lyra's interests outside the classroom reflect that same balance. She has been a dedicated member of both orchestra and the robotics team, while also devoting time to piano, violin, painting, and dance. Lyra has an intrinsic love of learning that has always found ways to make projects her own. She is a quiet but strong math student, reads books she enjoys while being willing to stretch, and writes about what she knows and loves. Lyra, as you just saw, is a natural presenter. If you saw her at Charleston night or emceeing at Grand Friends or indeed today, you might not guess how hard she's worked to overcome nerves along the way. She did it because she wanted to, and that steady determination has been one of her greatest strengths. Lyra, thank you for being a positive force in middle school, for bringing joy and fresh ideas to academics, orchestra, robotics, and for deploying both your creative and analytical skills in your marketing work for neurometrics. You have recognized and appreciated the opportunities you've had here at Quest, and the communities you go on to join will likewise benefit as you embrace what is offered and contribute with sincerity, intelligence, creativity, and goodwill. Lyra Claire Raposa, we celebrate you and congratulate you on the completion of your studies at Quest Montessori School.
Go ahead and shorten this for the rest of us. Vertically challenged. Griffin. Comes Griffin's kind and lighthearted personality helped to make middle school the wonderful place it is today. Griffin is known as a loyal friend, a motivated classmate, and a reliable team member. His smile and positive attitude help to set the tone for middle school every day. Griffin is genuine, a hard worker, and he truly cares about how others are feeling. Griffin joined Quest in the 4th grade, new not only to the school, but also to the area. During his years at Quest, he has gained confidence, knowledge, and found a love of learning that will help him in the years to come. He has grown immensely into the young man we all know well. In the classroom, his organization and attention to detail are unbelievable. Griffin comes to class daily with everything he needs, including his positive attitude, ready to take on any challenge. Although sometimes viewed as a creature of habit, Griffin still found space to stretch and surprise us. He took chances in a number of areas here at Quest, like in sports, digging into basketball and soccer. Digging into basketball and soccer with the class at break, and academically, like embracing the complexities of quadratic equations. His report of the USS Yorktown was thorough and detailed, but most importantly, well presented, both in Charleston on the aircraft carrier itself and during Charleston night here at school. Middle school is not easy. Students grow and develop on many different levels, socially, emotionally, and academically, to name only a few. Griffin has grown tremendously in his time in middle school. He is confident and has adopted a growth mindset rather than getting down on himself about his mistakes. He is a young man who takes great pride in his work, has developed a solid understanding of who he is as a student, and recognizes what he needs to learn efficiently. These skills alone are priceless and will help him greatly as he moves into high school and the world beyond. Griffin, you should be incredibly proud of the progress you have made here at Quest, and know that you are ready to take on whatever challenges lie ahead. We wish you the very best of luck at North Kingstown High School next year as part of the Computer Science CTE program. You are amazing and will be a great addition to the program. Please keep in touch, as we will all miss you. Griffin Sombauer, we celebrate you and congratulate you on the completion of your studies at Quest Montessori School.
Really quick, before I introduce my second graduate, I forgot to mention, I just want to say thank you to the entire Quest community. This has been my first year here at Quest, and I felt nothing but kindness from the entire Quest community. Whether it's toddlers, the primary rooms, elementary, and especially middle school as well, I felt warmly welcomed by all here. It's been fascinating watching students grow and develop in such a unique setting that fosters their curiosity, kindness, and love of learning. If you didn't know, originally, my home for the past 6 or 7 odd years teaching was in a much larger school district in the city. I had to deal with larger-than-life personalities while giving students constant reminders and had to handle so many class clowns. Which is why I'd also like to say thank you to the next graduate up here for making it feel a little bit more like home. Sebastian, please come. Sebastian loves the limelight. I learned this fact on the very first day of classes when Auburn volunteered Sebastian to pantomime all of the Karen Barman jobs of the class. Using exaggerated mannerisms, Sebastian demonstrated perfect sweeping and dusting techniques, proper garbage disposal form, as well as many more simple tasks elevated to an avant-garde performance. Sebastian's innate artistic talent also presented itself in video editing, as he took the lead in creating a video for his OTZ robot science class, as well as for the Charleston highlight video. His inclination towards technology served him well during NRN, as he was in charge of the NRN Square site. Through all of these endeavors, Sebastian balanced a careful line of seriousness and wit. When he's not scavenging my desk for something to toss to himself, Sebastian will often have his head in a new book. Sebastian has also been channeling this strong reading skill into some seriously impressive typing skills as well, as he has been typing out word for word the entire text of the novel The Wizard of Oz. An endeavor that he sought out himself. In addition to his impressive reading skills, Sebastian is also mathematically a force to be reckoned with. Sebastian's quick uptake on complex scientific concepts also meant that he would be one of the first voices to speak up during classroom discussions, often breaking the ice and highlighting key concepts for others that did not quite get it just yet. There has never been a dull moment for me in middle school when working with Sebastian. Whether it's talking about video games and Pokemon inside, or spiking down balls at him outside, Sebastian's magnetic charisma pulls you in and forces you to focus on the here and now and enjoy the moment. He has made this year so exciting for many, and leaves it with so many memories for those still here. His general goofiness and overreactions were a hallmark of the middle school classroom and will be missed. Once again, Sebastian, I'd like to thank you, not for reminding me of my home, but for making this place feel like a new home. Sebastian Joseph Vada, we celebrate you and congratulate you on the completion of your studies at Quest Montessori School.
Brian, come up and join. Brian is a remarkable student whose talents cross academics, the arts, and beyond. He came to Quest in primary and has left his mark on our school every day. From the very beginning of his time at Quest, Brian has stood out, not just because he's bright, but because he's always thinking 3 steps ahead. Whether he's grinding away at a tough math problem or solving a Rubik's Cube, his mind is always in motion, sharp, quick, and curious. This was easily seen during his impressive and thorough presentation on Fort Sumner in the 8th grade trip, and again during Charleston. Speaking of sharp minds, let's talk about Brian and the game of chess. He can be found almost every day during lunch playing a game with Alvin. He's not just a chess player, he's a strategist, a thinker, and of course, a fierce competitor. Brian is also a gifted violinist, bringing the same focus and passion to his music. Whether it's a solo performance or part of the Rhode Island Philharmonic Youth Orchestra, Brian plays with art and precision. His violin is an extension of his body, and he knows how to make music speak, a rare gift for someone his age. Brian is the creative thinker the world desperately needs more of. The way he solves puzzles, tackles challenges, and uses his imagination, he is sure to continue on to even greater things. Brian is competitive, but in a good way, always pushing himself to be better and encouraging others to improve as well. This can be seen both in the classroom and on the soccer field of break. He is incredibly dedicated, whether working relentlessly alone in his geometry course or in Charleston, when he completed the entire scavenger hunt from start to finish without taking a single bathroom break. All of this, combined with his love of life and his great sense of humor, makes him to be the dynamic student we have come to know and love. Brian, your future is as bright and exciting as a perfectly played game of chess, full of strategy, bold moves, and moments of brilliance. As you head off to high school, take that same energy with you. Think big, stay curious, and never stop playing to your strengths. We are so proud of you and can't wait to see the impact you have on North Kingstown High School as part of the music and CTE program. Brian Wade, we celebrate you and congratulate you on the completion of your studies at Quest Montessori School.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 graduates of Quest Montessori School. When I was an upper elementary teacher, my partner at the time, Cheryl, used to say to me, when the children leave 6th grade, they're still jello. You know, all the good stuff is there, but they haven't solidified yet. And without a doubt, by the time they've gone through Quest Montessori's middle school, they come out totally gelled and totally solid, and you prove it every year with the way that you present yourselves at this graduation ceremony. Thank you all for coming here. It has been so much to see the faces of the people who have supported these children, who have supported Quest, who know exactly what their child has been through and how they've grown. I want to thank you guys for the gifts that you give to me. Teaching and being with the children and watching you guys grow has been as inspirational and as a learning experience to me as it has for any of you. I was happy to hear in your speeches so many of you recognize your teachers and your parents, because as amazing as you all are, you didn't get here on your own. You had that support, you had that love, and I was happy to hear that. And that will continue. And I urge you to remember that kind of support that helped you as you go forward and pass that on to others. That is all I have. It was wonderful to see all of you. I'm really proud of you guys. I hope you're going to go on and have a wonderful time. And again, come back for the pizza panel because people are going to want to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our graduation ceremony.